You're tuned in to the Foxboro BeatCast, a podcast for Patriots fans by Patriots fans. And here are your hosts, is Kaleb McChesney and Ryan Moore.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Foxboro BeatCast. I am your host, Kaleb McChesney. Alongside me, my co-host, as usual, Ryan. We return to you on a crisp, cold September 25th, September 26th when you're watching this, but nothing is colder than the New England Patriots offense. They lose 24-3 in MetLife Stadium to the Jets. The first time they've done that since who was president, Ryan?
That would be one Barack Obama.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah.
How you doing, Ryan?
That game sucked. I'm doing great. Quite frankly, I'm doing amazing.
Better than Jacoby Brissett.
You say crisp and cool. How cold is it for you there?
It was low 60s, high 50s today.
Oh, it was like 85 here. Yeah, much different. It's like 75 out right now.
It'll be 75 on Friday, and then 70 Saturday, Sunday, Monday 73, and that's gonna drop right back down.
I kind of envy that. I won't lie.
I'm over it at this point. Like when I was a kid, I'd be like, no, we gotta have the 70s as long as we can, and we gotta keep this warm. I'm like, at this point, just get it over with. Give me the 50 crisp.
Yeah. See, I grew up in Canada, so like I'm used to that cold shit.
No, you're the asshole that wears boxer
I'm
shorts.
Short guy.
Yeah.
I used to feel like that, and then I realized, okay, I look like a fucking loser.
No, you got talked about at high school when you walked in. Like, oh my god,
Yeah,
look at this!
it's mid-November.
Shorts.
It's mid-November. It's like 30 Fahrenheit out, and I'm like, fucking shorts and a hoodie.
That's how you know he's Canadian, folks. He has to point out that it's Fahrenheit, not Celsius.
Well, because 30 Celsius is like hotter than a motherfucker.
Like, is it survivable at 30 Celsius? Like, what's that number?
30 Celsius is like high 80s.
High 80s?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Not fun.
No. Just like this week's not going to be fun because we got to go play San Francisco. But we'll get to that in a minute. We played on Thursday Night Football. We had a long week, long break. I'm sure that some of us watched NFL Red Zone and got caught up on some of the stuff around the league. We'll get into that a little bit later. But we're going to just forego the three studs of our segment, and we're just going to rip this team for every player that sucked. Ryan, do you have a first player you want to start with as far as the three duds?
I don't even think it's like a player. I think it's an entire positional unit, dude. The offensive line, dude, those guys are offensive to football, man. Like fucking trash. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, there's no other way to put it, man. They let the Jets just massacre, Jacoby Brissett, even Drake May when he went out there. Like, sheesh, dude. And I don't think there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, for this, like our best lineman, are like arguably our best lineman, our most consistent one. At least for the past, like, however many years he's been a Patriot, David Andrews got smoked, man. Like we were talking about before the show, he was the worst graded lineman of the starters.
And he had a penalty. He was the only one with a penalty.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Caden Wallace had 3. My fault.
That's another dud right there. I mean, like, it just can't happen, man. It just can't happen. Like, do you have like anything else about this, like, other than they suck and they blow? Because like
Zach Thomas, the left guard, on 16 pass blocking snaps, had a 74.4 grade. Not bad.
Well,
but he also gave up a sack, which I imagine is one of the Drake May sacks.
Probably.
Michael Jordan had a 70 grade. His pass blocking grade was his pass block win rate was atrocious, just like the rest of this team. I don't understand how you can be so bad as a unit, just like, so miserably horrible.
there's bad O-lines around the league. Some get propped up by their quarterbacks.
Washington. We'll get to that later.
Yeah. Some just straight up suck. No matter who you put in there. Like, even Brady Brady, who's a master at, commanding the pocket, great, best time to throw in the league, all that shit. Even he would be having a hard time with his O-line. Because,
let me see which year Tom Brady had, like, the worst O-line. I'm going to guess it's, like,
2019 was really bad.
Stats.
2019,
like, what year did he take the most sacks?
2015 was also just, like, by
a lot of injuries that year.
Yeah.
All right, Tom Brady was sacked 41 times in 2001.
Different era.
In 2013, it was 40. In 2015, it was 38. In 2017, it was 35.
Okay.
His lowest, 2016, he was sacked 15 times. 2009, 16 times.
He also missed 4 games in 2016, but he was still, like, 2016 Brady was just, like, a different level. Like, that might be his best season of quarterbacking ever.
2019 is actually kind of the mediocre. Like, his average is about 26.
Yeah.
26 sacks a year.
Well, I look at, like, the 2019 O-line, I just get flashbacks of Marshall Newhouse just getting rinsed.
Who might be a better left tackle than the guy we got trying out there right now.
That's just the lowest bar possible, man. Like, this is Will Campbell or why am I blanking? Is it Kelvin Banks?
Stand by.
Buddy from Texas. One of you look up property in Foxboro, Massachusetts, or Providence, or Boston, or something.
Cameron Williams? Kelvin Banks.
Kelvin Banks. Okay, yeah, I was blanking on the name for a sec. One of those guys needs to look up property in Massachusetts or Rhode Island or something. Because
you can get a nice deal in Providence,
Yeah. Yeah. Just get used to the cold if you're not used to it. I know you play Texas. I know Banks plays at Texas and Campbell plays at LSU. Get used to the cold. Set your AC real low at night. Get used to it. Because that's your reality for one of you two. Because they need not just, like, competency is the bare minimum. If you want to have someone that can, protect May for the next decade onwards, they need one of these two guys. And I don't give a shit about the fans that cry for receiver every fucking year. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, they need a receiver. I agree. But between receiver and O-line, give me the blue chip left tackle all day. I don't care. Right now.
Receivers grow on trees at this point. You need
Yeah, it's the deepest position in football. Like, you can get studs in rounds 2 and 3 or whatever. You can trade for them. There's always going to be a receiver that wants out. Go that route. Tackles, offensive line play is it's fucking rock bottom, man.
You don't back your ass into a starting left tackle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting harder and harder. The blue chips are blue chips for a reason. Like, you look at, like, Joe Alt right now, people are criticizing, and I know he got hurt, but people are criticizing the Chargers because they took him over Neighbors. But it's like, dude, have you seen Joe Alt play? He's shutting down all, like, the best, like, pass rushers in football. And, like, TJ Watt got a sack off him, like, late in the game or whatever. And, Steelers fans were parading that. Like, that's
well,
how
it was
fucking
also like
good this guy
TJ
is.
Watt's, like, 100th career sack.
Yeah. It's TJ fucking Watt against, honestly, one of the best tackles in football already, and this kid's 21. Like, that should tell you something about the blue chippers, right?
Especially with the way the Chargers want to play. Like, they made the right pick.
Yeah. And they got McConkey in round 2 anyway, so they made.
I've got a dead for you.
What's up?
Ramondre Stevenson. 2 fumbles last week, a fumble this week. Can't have it. Can't be turning over the football. And he's having some of those issues that plagued his rookie year with these fumbles. He's got to carry. He's got to carry around the football around the facility, and have
All
people
right.
smack it in the hallway and whatnot.
Let's play a game here.
Okay.
Raise your hand if you started him in fantasy this week. Fuck me.
I did.
0.3 fantasy points. I got off of work that night. I checked my fantasy app.
Hey, you beat me in
and
back-to-back
I thought
weeks
that was an
despite it.
error. I literally thought like they hadn't updated the scores or anything. Like I looked at that shit in disbelief, man.
Thank God it was
0.2.
only Thursday, and my team sucked.
Yeah. Dude, my team in my high school league, man, they were. You see, I'd rather talk anything but this fucking game. They sucked. It's like it's a.
I don't want to talk
about.
I don't want to talk about my fantasy team. I don't. They're worse than the Patriots.
The Townsend Titans.
I don't want to talk about them. They're worse than the Patriots.
Hey, listen, that's the guy that traded the table for Ayuk. If you want to do it, I'm all business.
Listen, the whole, and I know that people don't come here to listen to us talk about our fantasy football team, but the whole deal is like Xavier Worthy, he's a big time player for sure, but is he ever going to be the number one in that offense with Rashee Rice doing what he did? Ayuk, I know his stock is a little low right now, but when Debo comes back and when Ayuk is like finally like playing well, he's the best receiver on that team. So it's very much a tough balancing act.
I get it. I mean,
but I have other guys on the table too. So I'm basically the entire team is up for sale except for like Kyron and A-Chain, and even then, like if you give me a good enough deal, I'll ship them.
It's Drake May for Devon A-Chain again.
Seriously, no, probably not.
I think both of us are satisfied with that one.
I just wish that Miami had a quarterback that wasn't a walking concussion.
Yeah.
Well, nothing will get to that because he's on IR. He's not playing against us. We actually might have a chance against Miami this year.
I won't lie, low key. If Huntley is their starter, I actually feel like he can run that offense rather competently. Skylar Thompson sucks.
Tim Boyle's even worse.
Yeah,
not great.
Don't they also have Mike White?
No, they cut him.
Oh, did they cut Mike White?
They cut him in preseason. Yeah, what a mistake that was. Oh man,
they should have brought in Jets legend Mike White, dude.
We should bring in Mike White.
Yeah. Honestly, Jacoby Brissett gets injured. Nah, don't put Drake in. Put in Mike White.
Trade Jacoby to the Dolphins for a third.
Yeah.
We'll help you out. We'll bring in Mike White. He can be the veteran presence this team needs.
Yeah. Mike White, man.
That was a fun time for football. The Mike White
saga.
Mike
White mania. See, we're doing anything but talk about the Patriots. This is the team stinks.
Well, listen, like the team had I don't know. It was definitely not a ton of offensive drives. It wasn't. Let's see the Patriots Jets drive chart. Like how many offensive drives do you think they had that game?
Okay, I have a stud for you, by the way.
There's no studs of this game. Like
no. Bryce Behringer deserves one.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's
no love to the punter.
Let's be so excited that we have a punter that looks good. Like we don't want to have the punter out there. Sorry, he's the last guy I want to see. How many offensive drives do the Patriots have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, and 2 of them were 3 and outs, and 1 of them was a fumble on the first play.
Not good.
So 5.
Not good.
You know who was a stud? Aaron Rodgers. Good Lord, that's the best I've seen him play in a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
Congrats, New England. There are now.
I'll give it to someone else too. I thought Lazard played a really good
Lazard game. Looked great. Yep. Garrett Wilson cooked the shit out of Christian Gonzalez. That was a bad day for him.
Yeah, I mean, not his best day. Here's the thing: the Jets don't have Zach Wilson to gift fast games anymore. So.
Yep. On 9 targets, Christian Gonzalez gave up 5 catches for 33 yards and a touchdown. Can't have
From
it.
us, 5 catches for 33 yards is minimal. You know what? I'm gonna stand with Gonzo here.
9 targets, 5 catches, a touchdown. Can't have it.
33 yards though.
6.6 yards a catch, Ryan.
That's dog shit.
Damn near moving the chains. Jonathan Jones got cooked by him the worst. 4 catches for 61 yards.
Jonathan Jones might be time for a conversation on him. I don't
He
think
should be playing in the slot anyway. He shouldn't be going up against Garrett Wilson.
Yeah,
Like Gonzo should be shadowing him and then getting cooked worse. Like his coverage grade was a 40.5 against Garrett Wilson.
Okay, I will say this about PFF and coverage grades. From what I've heard, they only grade you at the catch point.
Listen, they're a lot smarter than I am with this.
That's how they do their grading. So I don't trust their cornerback grading as much when I found that out. Like, because it doesn't account for the times you shadow a guy or anything like that. It just anything that happens at the catch point. Which
Well, either way,
I don't know.
You can lock up Tyreek Hill, but you can't keep up with Garrett Wilson. This is a guy you're going to be playing twice a year. 5 catches cannot happen. 5 catches and a touchdown cannot happen.
Yeah, but you're talking about 5 catches for 33 yards, and then
A
the
touchdown,
touchdown wasn't
Ryan.
even Gonzo's fault. Really, like Rodgers.
The touchdown wasn't his fault. He got cooked.
Do you see the pass Rodgers put in that though?
He still got cooked.
Still, that's a fucking dot of a throw. Like that's a tough fucking.
No, all
play.
credit to Aaron Rodgers, but Gonzo's supposed to be this all pro corner, and he got cooked. Like this is a bad game for him.
I think it's more mediocre than bad.
It's a bad game for him. Like he's supposed to be a lockdown number 1 corner, and the last 2 weeks haven't exactly been that. Week 1 was excellent. Week 2 really wasn't great. Week 3, this was bad.
Played really well against Seahawks.
He got destroyed by DK Metcalf for a long touchdown. That
wasn't his fault. That was Duggar's fault, and they even said it was Duggar's fault on the stat charts.
How was he in general? On 8 targets, 5 catches, 31 yards, and he didn't get crushed for that.
Yeah, because Duggar fucked up his communication, and it reminded me of the Malcolm Butler versus Odell Beckham duel a little, where like Odell got like Butler on that touchdown. But like McCourty kind of fucked up his assignment. And people said, well, Butler got cooked, but I was just like, no. I mean, Odell beat him on the route, but like that was only as long of a play because of the, coverage bust from the safety. That's all.
No pass breakups for him. 6 yards a catch. Yeah, no, I gotta put this as a bad game for him. Next week, he's got Ayuk next week, and Ayuk hasn't been playing well, so hopefully that's a nice rebound for him.
Yeah.
3 tackles.
I thought he was fine. Just a mediocre game. So that's just me. Anyway.
Who else do I hate on this team? Box score. Let's see. Jacoby Brissett, 12 of 18, 98 yards, 5 sacks. Like, what do you want him to do? Antonio, the run game was non-existent, straight up. Antonio Gibson didn't do anything. 5 carries for 29 yards. Demario Douglas, 7 catches for 69 yards. Finally getting to see him get some targets.
Yeah. Yeah, he deserves them.
I think I have a little bit of a conspiracy theory on Demario Douglas.
What is it?
I don't think Jacoby Brissett likes throwing to a guy that short. I don't think he's used to I don't think he's used to throwing to guys with that low of a catch radius.
Honestly, like, yeah, Brady would cook of everyone, but dude, Brady and like Demario Douglas would cook, man. Like,
Behind this old line, I don't know.
I mean, just in general, like if you stick Demario Douglas like into any like those old Patriot offenses or whatever. Fuck, I'm talking about the old days again. How many times can I do that on today's show? Because this team sucks fucking ass.
Well,
And
just
we
know
got
when
the
you do
garage.
this, you cannot mention Tom Brady on commentary. That's what you traded in for. Not that you want to talk about Tom Brady on commentary because he's atrocious. Yeah, Drake may debut. Let's get into that.
Yeah.
4 passes or 8 attempts for 4 completions and 22 yards, 2 sacks. Took that massive hit where he like just got slammed trying to scramble. I think you kind of saw why we don't want Drake May out there. Number one, it wasn't that much better than when Jacoby's out there. Like he's very clearly not ready to play. And number two, the team is not ready for him to play either.
Nope.
So I think we can kind of dead that conversation for now. But Gerard Mayo did say that, or not Gerard Mayo didn't say that. I don't want to attribute that to him. But there are reports saying that the change could be coming sooner rather than later.
It wouldn't shock me if, honestly, for the Dolphins game, May makes his debut.
I just hear so many like conflicting reports on if he's ready to play or he doesn't know what he's looking at in the film room. Like he's still learning. So it's hard to really gauge. I think you could be right. It could be as early as next week, but if I'm going to try to be realistic, I'll say probably around the London game would probably be when I would be like on my toes about it.
Yeah.
But I think next week is probably about as early as you could see it for sure. Especially if Jacoby gets hurt because Nick Bosa and just that ferocious for 49ers pass rush.
Honestly, they haven't looked that great, the 49ers pass rush. I mean, this will be a rebound game for them, but
Javon Hargrave is on DNP today at practice.
He's out for the year.
Oh, is he? They just haven't put him on IR yet?
For his triceps.
Okay, they haven't put him on IR yet. Got it. They put Juwan Bentley on IR today.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're not gonna make a corresponding move, which makes me think that like they're activating someone off the PUP.
Yeah, Taki should be back next week. I'd imagine.
Would make a lot of sense.
I would imagine anyway. And Gerard Mayo was kind of pumping his tires today at his press conference, so he's really excited about him coming back, and so are we.
Yeah, you need, dude, that run defense. You know what, the run defense as well. Like the tackling was just atrocious. See, I could just point at every facet of the game.
Dude, the run defense was bad. 33 carries for the Jets, 133 yards and a touchdown. Average of 4 yards a carry. That's good. Braylon Allen looked really good. He was the leading rusher, but Breece Hall got the touchdown.
Yeah.
The Jets have a sneaky, really good rushing duo. Like, it's not just the Breece Hall show down there. Braylon Allen's really
Allen's a freak, man. No, it doesn't shock me that he's popping off. Like, he was a monster at Wisconsin. He's like the youngest player in the NFL too. He's only 20.
Yep. He'll be 21 in January.
Yeah.
Good player.
Yeah, man.
Tyler Conklin cooked us. 5 catches, 93 yards.
See, just this game sucked.
Mike Williams, 3 for 34. Alan Lazard, 348 and 1.
Yeah. Lazard's had a good start to the year.
Will McDonald had 2 sacks. Javon Kinlaw had a sack.
Everybody probably had a fucking sack with the Jets.
Solomon Thomas, Tack McKinley, and Leonard Taylor all had a half. Tack McKinley is still in the league, dude.
Yeah. Drafted in 2017, Tack McKinley.
Yep, first round pick to Atlanta, 26th pick. He's had 20 and a half sacks in his entire career. So,
Damn.
imagine if they had Hassan Reddick. Like, if they played Hassan Reddick, how cooked we would have been. Like, even worse.
Oh, shoot.
We might not have even gotten the 3.
Drake May would have came in a lot sooner. Drake May probably starting this week, actually.
Joe Milton would be starting this week.
Yeah. Mike White, you are a New England Patriot, actually.
Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, fuck.
Making the practice squad paycheck.
Honestly, Ryan Tannehill should probably return to the Dolphins.
He should be a Titan because Will Levis blows.
The Titans they kind of want to,
Tell me they wouldn't be like a borderline playoff team if Tannehill was just like mediocre.
I think they're tired of that, though. That's why they canned Vrabel. And it's not Vrabel's fault either. But
Vrabel should be a head coach next year.
He should, absolutely. See, they're I think the Titans are trying to tank.
Like, imagine you put Mike Vrabel in like Jacksonville, right? You get a guy who can just like settle down the quarterback. Imagine you put Mike Vrabel in Chicago. Like, that's a surefire way to like kind of toughen up Caleb Williams a little bit. You get the ball buster that is Mike Vrabel, and then you let him get a really good offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
they could be cooking next year. But I think we as a collective kind of overrated the Bears coming in this year.
Their O-line's another unit,
and their defense is Swiss cheese.
Yeah, not good,
not great. Just like our picks this week. Let's talk about the Niners a little bit.
Yeah.
Patriots lose 24-3. They have a lengthy injury report. Javon Hargrave, we just talked about, out for the year. Deebo Samuel, going to be out this week, I imagine. Trent Williams, I imagine, will be back. He's dealing with illness. D. Winters, I think he's a backup linebacker. Like, I don't care. George Kittle with a hamstring. He was limited today. And Brock Purdy was complaining about back soreness earlier this week. He was a full go. So they'll have Brock Purdy this week.
As expected. It'd be
but George Kittle and Deebo Samuel, both to be determined, but I imagine that Deebo's out and Kittle's in.
Yeah.
What do you want to tell us about this 49ers offense without Christian McCaffrey and like just how we keep up in this dream universe?
Well, we know what Shanahan's deal is. He's arguably the best offensive play caller until it's time to not be the best offensive play caller in football. They're gonna wide zone you to death.
They're gonna do what we want to do.
Yeah, which means you're gonna need big gains from guys like all the edge setters, like your Anthony Jennings, your Keon Whites of the world, even like Jelani Tavai.
Because Josh Uche can't set an edge to save his life.
No,
he couldn't set an edge against my grandmother.
No, he's really bad at that. You're gonna need to set hard edges, and you cannot let them get any form of space, because when they get space, man, they're gonna house it. Like, they're gonna break off these 10, 15, 20-yard runs. Jordan Mason, like, they're the best offense in the league for like just putting running backs in. And
yeah, there's a reason you could just stick anybody back there.
Yeah. With that being said, they can be had because of their injuries. Now, their receiving room, Ayuk, off to a cold start. He's a stud of a talent, but it's been a cold start. Him versus Christian Gonzalez is going to be really fascinating. The player I'm worried about the most on their offense is Jelani Jennings.
42 fantasy points on my bench.
Yeah, let's go, baby. Listen, he's been a guy since his rookie year, man. I've been a fan of him, like, coming out of Tennessee. Just always really reliable, dependable. For the most part, is a receiver 3, receiver 4, but I think he's kind of ascending to a different level. Like I think he's going to. Can you look it up? Is it free, like coming free agent at all?
I want to say they extended him in the offseason, but
If they extended him, that's a bargain of a contract for whatever they got him for. Because like, I love this player, and I don't think the Patriots have anybody in their
he'll be a
room.
free agent after next year.
Okay, I don't think the Patriots have anybody in their room that can keep up with him in the sense of he's a big bodied, just tank of a receiver. Knows how to, he knows his limitations, which is why I love the guy. Like, any receiver that knows and understands and works around their limitations are guys I always appreciate, because they're the ones that have long ass careers, and while they may not be the stars of the league, they always do the right thing. They make the plays, they move the chains, they do all this shit. They do all the dirty work. But not only that, but I do think Jawan Jennings, as showcased last weekend, he's got a little bit more of a gear than people probably thought he did.
And
And
that could have just been matchup because the Rams were injured to hell.
but hey, you look at our cornerback room outside of Gonzalez, who has the talent and the length to match up with him? Because I like both the Joneses, but like
Little
John
guys.
Jones hasn't been all that amazing. Marcus Jones is 5'8" on his best day. Yeah, I'm not.
Alex
I think
Austin's on
Jawan
the
Jennings is
injury
great.
report.
What's up?
Alex Austin's on the injury report, and
And that's
Marco Wilson blows.
yeah. I think Jawan Jennings is gonna wreck the game if they they scheme touches for him, which they will, because Shanahan for whatever reason turns into a massive fucking idiot when it's crunch time in the Super Bowl, but like when he's dialed in, which in the regular season he's gonna cook some shit, man.
But he let Sean McVay beat him in the regular season for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, that was a bad game. That
Sean
was
McVay is awesome though.
yeah, like I'm not shocked. And the Rams are one of those teams that are just
They'll figure out a way. Yeah.
yeah. I heard a great analogy. It was on the podcast I recommended to you that you didn't enjoy, but like they said, like Matthew Stafford's like the sheriff, in like a Western movie where it's just him and his pistol, and everyone else has like a full army, full just group of criminals or whatever like that, right? And Matthew Stafford's just like, bring it on. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna, it's just me and my pistol. We're gonna fight versus the world, baby. And credit to him on that. That was one hell of a game. But yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm back. I'm just kind of just talking around right now. I'm yapping a little. Back to the 49ers. So, their O-line's not that good. Like,
Especially if Trent Williams isn't going to make it.
I think he'll play. Like, if he's that ill,
He was DNP with an illness. I'm not sure what the illness is.
yeah, it depends. If
He's
he's
sick
just
of
shitting
the
his
shit.
pants today, or he had a little a chew, then whatever. You a little sniffle, a chew, a chew, a chew.
I look up Trent Williams sick, and I get his cancer diagnosis.
Yeah. Now, if that returned, that would be objectively horrible. I
Seriously.
I doubt that's the case. No, he's probably just pissing and puking and shitting his pants.
Thank you for that visual.
Well, I could have said that about the Patriots, but I mean, we
No,
all
they
know.
just do that figuratively.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Back to the Niners again. Their defense kind of underwhelming to start the year.
Yeah.
And there's been talks. Now there's been conflicting answers on it, because like Nick Bosa, conflicting as in the tape says otherwise from what I've seen. But Nick Bosa and Kyle Shanahan are like, oh, this isn't an effort problem. And then you'll see reps where Hargrave was just showing no effort whatsoever. And there are a few other guys just on offense and defense that are kind of just.
Fred Warner,
Well,
obviously a stud.
Yeah, he's the game wrecker on that defense.
Nick Bosa has 2 sacks on the year already, 3 quarterback hits.
The secondary can be had, though. They're not all that impressive in the secondary.
Who do you think is their highest graded coverage defensive back?
I'm gonna say just because I loved him coming out of college. I'm gonna say Diamador Lenoir.
Yes, at 67.2.
Is he really?
Yep.
That's a really
with 93 coverage snaps. The next highest DB is Isaac Yiadom.
Isaac Yiadom.
Sorry. Javarius Ward, who's supposed to be their number 1 corner, is at a 61.
Not good. Yeah, they could be had.
It's too bad we don't have the receivers to do it.
Well, Polk's been separating. Here's the thing. No one's throwing him the fucking football.
Because nobody can throw him the football.
Yeah, so Jalen Polk's just getting more cardio out there. Yeah. This is a really optimistic podcast today.
Well, you lose 2 in a row.
You look like total shit. You deserve it.
You can talk about the Seattle game all you want, but we still blew it. That was a game we should have had.
Yeah.
And then last week was just a kick in the balls. There's no other way to put it. It was just deflating.
The Patriots suck, Mike.
You kind of it's the cold water of, oh, this team isn't actually very good.
No, it's a reminder of.
And we always kind of knew, but there were Patriots fans out there who thought that we could compete for a playoff spot this year.
No, and that was never the
We're
case.
not ready. The earliest timeline that you're going to get is Drake May is really good. And you're pretty good next year. You're an 8-9 win team. And then in 2026, you could be really, really good.
Yeah.
But this thing takes time. You don't have a number 1 wide receiver. I'm sorry. Polk at his best is a wide receiver too. He's not supposed to be the Megatron, the Randy Moss, the Brandon Ayuk, the Larry Fitzgerald. He's not supposed to be the superstar wide receiver. You don't have that offensive weapon. Ramondre Stevenson, probably closer to a top 13 back than a top 10.
Yeah.
Your tight ends, sorry, Hunter Henry's getting old. Austin Hooper's old.
He's a fine player, but he's nothing he's not a world beater.
What's your X factor on the offense? Who's the guy that's going to win you ball games on this offensive roster right now?
Nobody.
There isn't one. So you still got a ways to go, especially with that gaping hole at left tackle.
Yeah,
that's you got to clear that up first and foremost. You can get the receiver.
Football, it's bleak.
Yeah, that's why we always have a segment and talk about other games because there's always exciting stuff going on in the league. The league is actually pretty weird this year. I'm not sure what it is. I can't put my figure on it, but just something is weird. There's some weird trend. There's some weird thing, and I'm not quite sure what it is.
Dude, you look at who's at the top of the MVP candidate ladder.
It's Josh Allen.
It's Josh Allen and then Sam Darnold. Derek Carr.
No, honestly, if Sam Darnold wins the MVP, this show is doing a victory lap. We're buying Sam Darnold jerseys.
the Darnold Ganda is off the fucking charts.
Book Sam Darnold. Let's get him on the show.
Yeah. I know you're a starting NFL quarterback and a really good one at that. Hey, do you want to come on our show?
I know that we're the team that made you see ghosts your rookie year, but
I know. We love you though, Sammy.
We've always been big Sam Darnold guys.
Always will be.
We're Sam Darnold guys. Of course we've been saying he's been good the whole time.
Yeah. We're Sam Darnold guys. Don't ask us who we had over Josh Allen in the draft.
We're Sam Darnold guys. Of course Baker Mayfield blows.
Yeah. No, we're missing the proper one. We're Sam Darnold guys. Of course Josh Rosen fucking sucks.
We were right.
Yeah.
But at least we can hang our hat on that. We were right day one about Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
You know how many jokers had him at QB1? At least our guy was in the league.
Yeah. Our guy survived the Jets and the Panthers.
We're Sam Darnold guys. All he needs is a good head coach.
Yeah. All he needed was a little career rehabilitation. Josh Rosen had that and fucking sucked.
There's the episode title. We're Sam Darnold guys. But yeah, no, Sam Darnold's a beast. Give him his flowers.
Yeah, he's playing the best football of his life.
And they just played two really good teams, and they smoked them.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Vikings.
KOC is my front runner for Coach of the Year right now.
Like, hard to argue.
And I think Flores might get himself another job, head coaching job off.
The one thing that really concerns me about B-Flow and being a head coach is that Tua stuff's concerning.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that you didn't really believe in Tua and you didn't want to pick him, but you can't have this shocked Pikachu face when you get fired for refusing to work with the first-round pick quarterback, and then every day at practice being like, no, you fucking suck. I don't want you fucking here. You fucking blow. Like, I would rather have Mac fucking Jones here than you. Like, get the fuck out. Like, I don't want you here, but you don't deserve to be here. Like, and this is all assuming that what Tua said is true. I don't want to, like, paint Brian Flores as, like, this evil human being if it didn't happen. But if that's what happened and other players can, like, corroborate with that were down on the, like, let's ask Ryan Fitzpatrick what happened because he was probably the next closest guy there. Then that's really concerning. Like, you can't deal with a quarterback that you don't believe. Like, you might personally not like the guy, but you still got to work with him. Like, Bill Belichick was obviously not the biggest Mac Jones guy. We saw how bad the team got when it became apparently clear that Bill wanted nothing to do with him. He got worse and worse and worse, and now he's getting strip sacked in Jacksonville in garbage time. Like,
yeah, it's not good.
That's a yellow flag. But I agree, Brian Flores, based on performance alone, does deserve another opportunity. 100%.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect segue into our NFL segment, just all around. Andy Dalton, his first game with the Panthers, goes and throws 3 touchdowns against Antonio Pierce and the Raiders. Was Bryce Young the problem, number one? And number two, are the Raiders the biggest joke show in the entire NFL right now?
Okay. Well, it's a 2-part question. I'll say this right now. It's looking more and more likely that Bryce Young is a bust, like a major draft bust. And I don't think him in his rookie year was the problem, but him right now is the problem. And I saw Carolina apparently had one of the best pass blocking offensive lines in the league. It's just Bryce Young was taking shitty, stupid sacks. Andy Dalton comes in. He's a poised veteran. Like, you know what you're getting out of Andy Dalton at this point in his fucking career. He comes in and commands up. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever.
You're right, Ryan. They do have a pretty good pass blocking offensive line. Top to bottom.
It's not the bottom?
No, it's a top to bottom, a very good pass blocking line. Their lowest ranked, their lowest graded offensive lineman for pass blocking is Ike Mekonu. And it's a 65.3 grade.
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
it's pretty good.
Dalton comes in and just stands in the pocket effortlessly. You know, he's not taking stupid sacks, and the offense looks better. And that's a below average starter realistically in the NFL at this point. Like, Bryce Young, dude. I wanted to believe in him so bad. I loved him coming out of Alabama. I was a big fan of his.
I wasn't.
But I think what he needs to go get the career rehabilitation, and if that can't fix him, it's over. It's so over.
Maybe Mike McDaniel can get his hands on him and
I was
turn him
thinking
into
Ram. I was thinking
in a
Rams because
pipsqueak Tua.
I was thinking Rams because he's from California and he can sit for a couple of years.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Stafford's one of the top quarterbacks to learn from. Like that dude's just a tried and true professional.
Yeah.
Always been a big Stafford guy.
I warmed up to him. I was a little cold on him, but he's had a remarkable career, man. I can't really hate anymore.
No, he's better than that. Nah, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there.
Are you gonna say? Nah, come on.
Not gonna go there. I'm gonna shut up. We already talked about this a little bit, but is Josh Allen like the clear-cut MVP right now? I think he is.
Yeah. Yeah, he
How about that joke show of that clown show of a anonymous players poll that said he was the most overrated player in football?
Listen, I hate the Buffalo Bills, and I'm not overly fond of Josh Allen. Fucking come on.
That was a stupid take, wasn't it?
Yeah. Like, that's just some players hating the hate.
He is clearly, I think, and has been for a little while, clearly the second best quarterback in the NFL. He's not in the Mahomes tier. Mahomes has his own tier. Me and Trent talked about this in January. Like, this was off-season content. The quarterbacks in 2014 were a lot closer together. Like, why are you smiling? What the fuck? What's so funny?
I won't lie. I think there might need to be a dialogue about Patrick Mahomes.
Jesus Christ. No, I'm not doing it. Still the best quarterback in the league.
11 touchdowns to 9 interceptions and 1 300-yard passing game. In his past, like, however many fucking weeks. Like, since, like, November of last year.
And he still won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
With no real wide receiver one last year.
Come on, let's call a spade a spade. He hasn't looked amazing this year.
Okay, and we're 3 weeks in, and I would still pick him first overall.
And then talk about banning 2 high safeties because Patty can't play them.
Because Mel Kiper said it? Patrick Mahomes didn't say that.
Well, yeah, if he said that, he'd be the softest fucking quarterback ever.
I haven't even seen him say anything.
No, seriously though, if a quarterback actually did come out and say, like, I want 2 high coverage banned.
If there was a quarterback ever in NFL history to say that, who do you think would, like, say it? Like, who's the all-time just, like, softest quarterback ever?
Josh Rosen.
Like,
you gotta think of, like, really shitty quarterbacks.
You gotta start 3 years to make this conversation.
Like, I don't know. Like, I gotta think of, like, total pillows.
Like, seriously. Who'd be like, oh, like, who's the Garrett Cole of the NFL? Oh, geez. I mean, these 2 high safeties.
Well, for Pete's sake. I can't beat cover 2.
Carson Palmer?
No. I'm just trying to think of guys that were just total bitches. I would say Jay Cutler, but Jay Cutler doesn't care.
Jay Cutler didn't care. Like, he'd just throw it at the safety. He'd be like, well, what do you want me to do?
Yeah. If Jay Cutler gave a shit, I'd probably say Smoking Jay. Because he'd be like, nah, fuck it, I want to show my arm off.
I feel like it'd be more coaches who would say stuff like that. Like Rex Ryan, like if he was an offensive guy.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson might be that guy.
Russell Wilson, like,
if he wasn't, like, so good at football, like, in his prime.
Russell Wilson can throw it deep, though. Like, we got to think about, like, quarterbacks that, like,
Tannehill would say it.
Tannehill probably would.
He's an
yeah.
absolute pill of a person.
Yeah, that guy's a fucking pillow.
Yeah, no, I like that. Ryan Tannehill. He would be the guy that would ask for
I
the
can see
banning.
Will Levis saying it.
And Brian Callahan would rip him in the presser and still start him on Sunday.
Yeah. You can't throw too fucking high. You suck. Still starts him.
He should be benched. Like Will Levis
He is
bad.
He's terrible. Like
Bad.
he's not.
Who's their backup in Tennessee? It's Mason Rudolph, isn't it?
Oh my god.
Why aren't they starting Mason Rudolph?
Because he's just as bad.
He started a playoff game last year.
Yeah, that's not really like the Steelers quarterback room is also fucking terrible.
Where they play the Bills in the wild card last year?
Oh my god. And that was a waste of 3 hours.
They only lost by 14.
You know what? I will say this.
Mason Rudolph threw 2 touchdowns.
I'll say this right now, and I know they're 3-0. Any Steelers playoff game is just a waste of 3 hours.
Yeah, no. They back their ass in the wild card and then they lose.
And I know their defense has been electric, but
they need to get the offense figured out.
That's always been the case of Pittsburgh. Their offense is the most uninspiring sack of shit.
It has been since the days of since Le'Veon and Antonio Brown left. They just haven't been able to replace it.
It's so ugh. I can't stand watching the Steelers play football. Like it,
they need a fresh set of eyes on that offense. Like Arthur Smith, isn't it? They need one of these young hotshot coordinators.
They fired Matt Canada the first time they ever shit canned a coach mid-season. That's how
good move.
Yeah, objectively a great move. Who did they hire?
Arthur Smith.
Slightly better Matt Canada.
He's Matt Canada from Walmart, and Matt Canada is from Kmart.
Matt Canada is like
we got Trader Joe's Matt Canada, you know?
No, Trader. A lot of people swear by Trader Joe's. I mean, I've never been a fan of it, but a little overrated for my taste. But he's like the Ross or like TJ Maxx.
Gotcha.
Of offensive coordinators, just shite. I'm talking about Matt Canada.
You can find some cool finds at TJ Maxx. I saw Brandon Cook's jersey in there one time. It didn't fit, so I didn't grab it. But Brandon Cooks is my dog, the Archer.
Hey, I found a Johnny Manziel jersey, $15.
I'm so pissed. I want a Johnny football jersey.
And it's my exact size too. I was so gassed, dude.
Maybe we should bring in Johnny Manziel as the veteran presence.
Yeah.
We're Johnny Manziel guys.
The Titans? Question mark.
Seriously, Johnny Nashville.
Okay, that's actually objectively a terrible idea because
him and Morgan Wallen at the top of Eric Church's bar, whatever that is. Oh boy,
Johnny Manziel on Broadway. Anyone that's ever been to Nashville, been to Broadway, would be the most idiotic decision of all time.
But I kind of want to see it.
He would make Texas A&M look like fucking, like a
Child
frat
play.
Like a child's play, like a frat party, like a high school party in comparison. Like he would Project X Nashville.
The guy who does the voiceover for our intros and outros, Gerardo, he hung out with Johnny Manziel a time or two.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said Mike Evans didn't hang around that much, and we can see why, because he's a pretty good football player.
Well, Mike Evans does nothing dumb off the field. He's just
probably the most boring guy ever.
Yeah. Which, honestly, from a star, I'd rather that.
He's like Kawhi Leonard. He's just not interesting off the court.
No. The only time Mike Evans gets engaged ever is when he faces Marshawn Lattimore.
Right.
He sees Marshawn Lattimore, and it's immediately Peter Griffin versus the chicken. Outside of that, he's just boring as fuck. He goes home to his wife and, just does whatever. Probably just grills or some shit.
Right.
Nothing.
Opens up a nice bottle of wine, just hangs out by the couch.
Yeah. It's pretty like, oh man, I bet Johnny's doing some dumb shit right now.
Want to talk about how Jaden Daniels is 2-1, beat the Bengals, made him 0-3. Jaden Daniels looks like a star.
I am not surprised, dude.
No, me neither.
I was so high on Jaden Daniels.
I'm shocked that
I
it
won't
happened this
lie.
quickly, but because like that Commanders line isn't very good.
No,
It's probably good in comparison to us.
but he's dotting it, man. Like,
Yeah, no, he's very good.
and
Oh no, the Commanders O line, very good pass blocking grades, top to bottom. They're
surprising.
they're trying to figure it out at left tackle. Brandon Coleman, the guy who was taking a pick before Caden Wallace, not very good, but otherwise very solid.
Yeah. Honestly, man, like Washington wouldn't shock me if they're on the rise sooner rather than later. As soon as they got Dan Snyder out the organization, it's like the vibes just.
Terry McLaurin looks like he's caught a second win as a player.
Well, yeah, dude, he finally has a quarterback that doesn't suck throwing him the football. Like, he's like, finally, someone's going to throw me a deep go ball accurately. It's like the happiest he's ever been, man.
And Brian Robinson's a stud. Like,
Brian Robinson, you know what? I thought Eckler was going to get more of the bulk there.
I never did. I thought Eckler sucks.
Well, Eckler's a receiver, though. He's a receiving back, so I thought he was going to get the
really
bulk
good at that anymore.
Yeah, he might be fried. I don't know. Robinson, though, I'm so glad I kept him in fantasy. I'll tell you, son. I sent a trade to MVT. I wanted Chase Brown. I was gonna send him Brian Robinson before the season started.
That would have been stupid, huh?
Looking back at it, yeah. I mean, thanks for not opening it or even responding, MVT. I don't know. I'm really high on Chase Brown, though. I think he should be Cincy starter because Zach Moss ain't it.
But yeah, the Bengals suck. What do you make of that?
Yeah. There needs to be panic, but like, here's the thing: if there's a team that's going to, because I saw like only like you can count on like maybe two hands. Like, okay, I should say like it's like less than 10 teams in like the past however many years that have made the playoffs.
Gotcha. Okay, I was trying to figure out where you were going.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like it's like less than 10. That have made the playoffs.
Let's see.
Has an 0-3
team made the playoff.
They're 0-3.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only one from the last 10 years.
It was the Texans with Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
Before
that, it was the 1998 Bills.
Here's the thing. The Bengals, I still love Joe Burrow. I still love Jamar Chase. I still love T. Higgins. Those three, they should figure it out. They'll get some synergy together. Everything else about the Bengals is just so fucking blah. Like, man, I think they'll crawl their way back into it, but like low key, there should be conversations about their coaching staff. Not even low key, really. Like Zach Taylor, I'm not a fan. I've never really been a big fan. Always thought he was just eh.
And the Callahan in Tennessee is stinking it up already.
Yeah. That system is not it in Cincy. And then you look at Lou Anarumo, who is one of the most stubborn minds in football. Like, people were talking about it. He might be a Jesse Bates merchant. Because ever since Jesse Bates left Cincy, his secondaries have been getting torched. And it's really easy. Like, he loves playing man coverage. And the thing is you can play a lot of great man coverage if you have a great safe, like a great, like, you know, an Ed Reed type of like, okay, Ed Reed's don't grow on trees, fucking obviously.
Devin McCourty.
Yeah, like a Devin McCourty, a Jesse Bates, like someone that can prime Earl Thomas. Like,
my brother just sent out Ed Reed.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Yeah,
like
no,
trying to think of
everybody
like
has
all
Ed
time. Every
Reed.
time I think of like single high safeties, my mind immediately gravitates to like Ed Reed was pretty fucking sick, huh?
Yeah, pretty good player. Pretty good football player.
He was pretty damn good. Okay, but like you look at like the single high safeties of the world, right? They signed Geno Stone to be that, and it hasn't really been working all that well. They need their Jesse Bates back, man. Like they need a guy like him, because for that man-to-man coverage scheme, if you don't have a guy like patrolling over the top, you're gonna get cooked. And they got cooked because they're islanding out these mediocre cornerbacks, and they don't have any fucking support. It's not good, man. It's not good. That scheme isn't working. You don't have the talent to play man coverage, and you don't have the safeties to back it up. You're getting fucking smoked. And they still are just going to continue spamming man coverage because Anaromo's stubborn. I don't get it. That coaching staff, they need to all be fired, man. If they miss the playoffs, I don't give a shit how cheap Mike Brown is. You got to fire these guys. I don't care. Do you care about your team or not? And I know they don't have the liquid. I heard that like one of the big hangups and like why they can't get Jamar signed apparently is like they don't have the liquid cash,
Mm-hmm.
which has never shocked me. They've never been like the most like, they're probably the poorest ownership group in football right now. It's them or like Mark Davis. If you don't have the fucking liquid cash to do this, you shouldn't be owning a team. If you can't, if you can't fire a coach because you don't want to pay him out, and you don't want to fire or pay your. Truth be told, I think I love Ochocinco. I know Chris Collinsworth is remarkable as a Bengal. Love TJ Hushmazada. AJ Green was fucking incredible. Truth be told, Jamar Chase is probably the best receiver off talent in Bengals history. And you're going to maybe let that guy walk because you don't have the liquid cash to pay him. That's a fucking disaster. I'm turning this into a Bengals rant because I see they're honestly like they're one of my favorite teams to watch in football. I love Burrow. Like I said, I love Burrow. I love Jamar Chase. I love T. Higgins. I love Chase Brown, who they should start, by the way. This team just, as an organization, just they stink, man. And honestly, in defense, like outside of Trey Hendrickson, who do they have that's worth a shit? Like Logan Wilson, maybe Jermaine Pratt. Like, fine, but
Trey
like
Hendrickson.
I said Trey Hendrickson.
Okay.
Outside Trey Hendrickson, though, like they're ass. The team is ass. So yeah,
Lawrence
I think
Guy,
the club.
Patriots legend.
Okay, Lawrence Guy, like washed as fuck.
Say it to his
Listen.
face, Ryan.
No, I wouldn't because he'd kick my ass, dude. He's like 320 pounds. I'm a relatively big guy. Lawrence Guy would pick me up and bench press me for like 20 reps and then throw me off to the side. No, I'm not saying that to. I would be very nice to his face, actually.
I did not mean that, sir. You are a very good football player to this day.
It reminds me. It reminds me of this tweet. This guy like tweeted at a UFC fighter. He's like, "You had a really shitty fight," and the guy's like, "You wouldn't say it to my face." He's like, "You're goddamn right, I wouldn't." You would kick my
Family
ass.
Guy episode when Peter Griffin's convinced that he could kick Liam Neeson's ass.
Yeah. Yeah. And Liam Neeson just wipes the floor with him. And makes Peter Griffin his bitch.
Because Liam Neeson has that dog in him.
Yeah.
I have one more conversation I want to have before we get to our picks.
All right.
I have two quarterbacks, okay? Quarterback A, he's played 53 games. He has a 20-33 record, a 1-on-1 playoff record, 63.2% completion percentage, 1,233 yards, 60 touchdowns, 40 picks, 84.5 passer rating. What would you say about that quarterback?
Mid.
Quarterback B, 63 games, 23, 38, and 1 record. 1-1 playoff record, 64% completion percentage, 13,112 yards, 66 touchdowns, 42 interceptions, 84.9 passer rating. What would you say about quarterback B in comparison to quarterback A?
2 shades of shit.
Do you have any idea who these two quarterbacks are?
I'm going to assume it's Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence.
It is Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence. Daniel Jones was
Oh my
quarterback
God.
B. Trevor Lawrence was quarterback A.
Yeah, there needs to be a combo about Trevor Lawrence.
I think I'm done.
I'll say this right now. The Jaguars, I just shit on Cincy for how poorly coached they are and how poorly run they are as an org.
Jaguars are worse.
The Jaguars need to fire everybody, man.
They need to fire the owner.
Yeah, Shad Khan should not be owning a football team. The Jaguars have just been shit since he's on them. Like, I'm
Two
sorry.
playoff runs since 2000. What?
You know, I need to say this as well. Okay. Look at the fucking. Do you know who the GM is of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Trent Baalke.
Trent fucking Baalke. You let Trent Baalke be your GM.
You're talking to Patriots fans, Ryan, who they're not very informed about the league. Tell us who Trent Baalke is.
Trent Baalke is mostly responsible for why the 49ers in the mid-2010s just fell off a fucking cliff.
The good Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick teams. Yep.
Because his ego, he didn't like Jim Harbaugh, who was... Listen, say what you will about Jim Harbaugh. I think he's a bit of a knob at times. That guy can fucking coach football, man.
He's better than he was as far as being a knob.
Yeah. But, like, him and John can both be knobs. They're both remarkable coaches, so.
John Harbaugh might be out of Baltimore by the end of the year.
We'll see. I don't know. That guy, like, him and Mike Tomlin just have, like, you know, pacts with the devil to stay permanently.
Not as bad as Marvin Lewis for all those years.
Yeah. Like, okay, Trent Baalke, terrible. Like, terrible about, like, he's had some terrible drafts. Like, just terrible. The Jaguars hire him, and what does he do? In the 2022 draft, they have the first overall pick. There's this.
I don't even remember the name of the edge rusher they took.
There's this really talented kid out of Michigan named Aiden Hutchinson.
Pretty good.
Who all he's done in college is just he basically single-handedly won Michigan the game against Ohio State his last year. Like, he was phenomenal. Who did they take?
I don't remember his name.
Trayvon Walker.
Does he suck?
Yeah, he's not good. Like, one of the most mediocre.
Same position.
He's a freak athlete. Here's the thing. He was a freak athlete. But everybody in college, everybody that scouted him said he's still really raw, and, like, there's a lot of not good on his tape. Like, he might be an athletic freak, but he's not the biggest edge rusher. And he's also, there's a lot of on his tape. So you took him over Aiden Hutchinson, who's been a top 5 pass rusher in the league. Since he's, you know, like, he's like, Aiden Hutchinson had 5 sacks in a game a couple weeks ago. And also, I'll say this as well, I think he might be the front runner for DPOI. He's a monster. Imagine him on the Jaguars defense right now. But not only that, can you look up when they hired Trent Baalke in Jacksonville for me?
Stand by.
Because I want to know if
I was looking at something else. I was like, shit.
I need to know if he made this pick also.
Jacksonville 2020. No.
Nope. Hired in 20.
Pause. Oh, wait, yes. February 4th, 2020.
As GM, right?
Director of Player Personnel. He became GM in 2021. But you can safely assume that he had the 2020 draft as well.
This guy cannot evaluate edge rushers to save his fucking life. You know who he took in the first round in the 2020 draft?
The 2020 draft?
It was Kaleb and Ryan, who's out of the NFL.
Ugh.
He was one of the worst edge rushers in the league. Like, could not generate pass rush to save his life.
So I had the defensive player of the year odds right in front of me.
What's
Aiden Hutchinson is tied with TJ Watt at plus 250.
Pretty fucking
Trayvon
good.
Walker is plus 7,500.
All right, listen. Here's the parlay that's gonna win it all.
Okay.
Trayvon Walker plus Bengals playoffs. Trayvon Walker, DPOI plus Jaguars playoffs plus Bengals playoffs plus Lou Anarumo or Zach Taylor winning Coach of the Year.
Jesus Christ, hang on.
Let's cook this up and throw $1 on it. Let's see what it would actually win.
Team props. No, I want team futures. Futures, yes, team futures. Super Bowl, you want just playoffs?
Just playoffs.
Okay. Bengals, you said?
Bengals, Jaguars, and then Trayvon Walker, DPOI.
Bengals, and you want Jags?
And then either Doug Peterson or Zach Taylor, Coach of the Year. Your choice.
Zach Taylor, Coach of the Year? Game props, team props.
Let's throw $1 on this. Anyway, back to rambling on about the Jaguars.
Awards. Coach of the Year.
So, not only does Trent Baalke suck, but
oh my God, Zach Taylor is at the bottom. Like, he has worse odds than Doug Peterson.
Jesus.
Zach Taylor is plus 15,000. Doug Peterson's 8,000.
I could probably pay off like my college
these
tuition
picks
if I
can't
throw,
be
like,
parlayed, but if we put $1 on each, and they all hit, we'd be looking at 155 plus 76 is 31. We'd be looking at 233.15
Yeesh, man.
if we put $1.
Anyway, back to this. The Jaguars coaching staff is the worst of football. Both Doug Peterson and Press Taylor, the defensive coordinator, should be fired. Like, these guys suck. And Trevor Lawrence, since he's entered the NFL, has been a bundle of mid. Okay, you know what? Not only that, I need to revisit 2021 because what the fuck was that? You hired Urban Meyer.
To let Tim Tebow enter a professional football team in big 2021.
Play tight end. This was after his baseball stint. They had Urban Meyer fucking come in the film room sessions. They're watching tape on the Rams. And he goes, "Who's this 99 guy?"
Just Aaron Donald.
Motherfucker! That was your head coach for it's not even a full season.
Physically assaulting kickers on your team, which is maybe the most base thing he ever did.
Dude, this fucking guy. If they have a game in Ohio, in Cincinnati, he drives up to Columbus. Funny enough, like the fucking restaurant that he owns is near my house.
You ever been?
I am not. I refuse to go in there.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't. Urban Meyer, I do not like that guy. Like, for all my hockey fans out there, Urban Meyer is like Mike Babcock to me. And just two guys, I do not like those guys. Do not like. Anyway, this motherfucker comes up during his whatever mini bye week or whatever the fuck to Columbus, goes to his fucking restaurant, and he has like 20-year-old college students fucking grinding on him. This was the guy you hired? This is the fucking guy? And then you fire him, and you hire Doug Peterson. What has Doug Peterson been for you?
Mid
Mid at best. gonna get fired because he sucks. Press Taylor, who is your defensive coordinator. This guy, like, I wouldn't even trust him coaching high school defenses because the Jaguars' defense fucking stinks.
How about Bill Belichick in Jacksonville next year?
I could see, dude. Shad Khan loves him a splash hire, man.
It would be that. It
Bill
wouldn't be good.
Bill will come in and like immediately kick Mac Jones out the building.
Mac would be like clawing his way out.
Mac's like, I'm finally back in my hometown. I'm having a blast. This is fucking great. Bill Belichick comes in like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He literally he comes up behind him. Hey, Mac.
He's like the Undertaker. Hey,
go run some laps. Joe Judge and Matt Patricia are here.
Hey Mac, you remember Matt?
We got Matty P and Joe Judge here to call your plays.
Hey, we brought in another quarterback. You remember Bailey?
That's like Mac Jones's nightmare when he goes to bed every night.
Oh fuck!
Right, you know that receiver you really like in preseason. Yeah, now he's a Raider.
Yeah. All right, and we brought you in another weapon. Juju, come on out.
Oh my god.
All right. One last one. Jonu.
Farrell Brown, you want to come in here?
Hey, we got you another lineman. Hey, Trent, come here.
Trent Brown. God, who else did Mac hate on that roster?
Let's see.
Oh yeah, Brian Burns is a Texan now. You gotta play him twice a year.
Hey, remember that defensive lineman you gator rolled? Hey.
Eli Apple's on our practice squad. Good luck.
Yeah. we brought in Chauncey Gardner Johnson.
Remember when you said something racist to Patrick Queen? Yeah, he's on our defense now.
Oh fuck. Hey, remember that time you cried like a bitch with your sprained ankle? Guess who we brought in? Calais Campbell. Everybody. All right.
Bill Belichick's dream team.
Yeah.
And Sean Connery would let him do it too.
Oh yeah. Dude, he'll give Belichick full autonomy of that fucking team, and the N'Keal Harry will be like a fucking Jaguar.
Remember in Keel?
You remember Cam, right?
It's literally Mac Jones's worst nightmare.
All right, fine. We got your receiver too. Isaiah Zuber.
Yeah, Dante Moncrief. Come on in.
I brought in Isaiah Ford.
Isaiah Ford.
Oh, fuck. This is going to turn into naming random Patriots. All right. I got you a weapon. Devin
Lucian. Fresh off the retirement home.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian Tim. He's back from Europe.
Chris Harper, wide receiver 3.
Jimmy Garoppolo, QB1.
All right.
Man,
all right.
Poor Mac Jones.
Yeah.
The pressures of a first-round pick.
Yeah. Back to the fun, though.
Sack whack, Sauce Gardner, and just get thrown to the ground.
Yeah.
The Jaguars suck.
Now it's not the Patriots. We can say it, right? Like, Mac Jones is a fucking dickhead, man.
Oh, yeah, no. Definitely a tennis brat.
Yeah. Don't draft tennis players, because Josh Rosen also played tennis, too. Just a thought.
Just a thought.
All right.
Yeah, that was it. Time to do some picks. Last week, it was a tie, but you beat me on the line, and that's our tiebreaker now.
Yeah.
Our record on the line is I'm 19, 27, and 2. You're 21, 25, and 2. So you're starting to creep back up to 500.
All right.
And we're just gonna go from there. So Thursday night football tonight. The Dallas Cowboys head into New York, take on the Giants. Shout out to my boy Nick Benoris and all the fine people of our Giants friend group. And don't shout out the guys who are always going on viral on Twitter for saying Saquon Barkley's a traitor, and he'll never win. He'll never win the Eagles game. And yeah, thinking about you, Nad. Ryan, you wanna give your take on this game? Dallas is 6-point favorites.
Listen, Dallas is not good. They're another team we could have talked about as like they're sneaky shit. But
yeah, but you gotta give it some time.
Here's the thing: this is going to be the obligatory Dak Prescott game, where he'll throw for like 300 plus yards, whatever. He'll have 3 touchdowns. He'll look good, and everyone will be like, "Oh my god, the Cowboys are back." And yeah, they're gonna win. It's the fucking Giants, man. The Giants are dog shit. I don't give a fuck if they. I don't give a fuck if they beat Cleveland, man.
But Daniel Jones is just as good as Trevor Lawrence stuff so far.
Dog shit versus dog shit. Yeah, Dallas wins.
Dallas both ways?
Yeah.
I took Dallas to win. I like the Giants at -6. I think they can keep this pretty competitive. Dallas hasn't been all that impressive. The Giants, for all their faults, they've been competitive.
Okay, listen. I'll give genuine praise to one player in the New York Giants.
Malik Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors is really fucking good, huh?
Stud.
He's really good. Like, Giants and like rookie year LSU receivers, man.
Why can't we get one of those?
Yeah.
The Saints are headed to Atlanta, taking on the Falcons. They're reeling from that devastating loss. And the Falcons, they kept up with the Chiefs, and if not for a questionable PI call, they might win that game.
Yeah.
The Falcons are 2.5-point favorites in Atlanta. I took Atlanta both ways.
I'm going to take New Orleans.
Okay.
Both ways.
Okay.
I don't know. Falcons Saints games are always fun to me because like both those teams just like genuinely despise each other's existence.
And they throw everything at the wall. They do.
Yeah.
That'll probably be my 1:00 watch because the Patriots don't play till 4.
Yeah. I'm red zoning it, but that'll be fun.
Oh, I always have red zone on the TV, and then I have my laptop.
See, okay, here's the thing. Just a little bit of a rant because I live in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely cannot stand watching the Cleveland Browns and Pittsburgh Steelers play football, and the Bengals frustrate the absolute shit out of me.
Yeah, Fire Stick?
I do not. I have an Apple TV.
Get a Fire Stick.
Might have to.
And I got the hookup for you. $13 a month. Everything you want.
All right.
Just hooked up my cousin with it. I used it last weekend. Very good.
I will actually. I get paid on Friday. You know what? I'm thinking it's a good idea. How much does it cost?
The Fire Stick?
Yeah.
The Fire Stick itself is between $35 and $45. It's a one-time purchase. One-time purchase for that. And then you pay $13 a month for the service that I use. And it's not only football. You get all your Celtics games that you want, all your Blue Jackets games you want. Of course, you have that on cable anyway. But you have every NHL game that you could want.
You get baseball.
Yes, you get Nesson. Very good, very good. $13 a month, $14 a month if you want the XXX channels. But I think you're kind of a very curious man if you do that on the big TV, you know?
Yeah. Mom, Dad, get out.
Cat, get out.
Wreck.
Tristan will appreciate that joke. So yeah, you take Saints both ways.
Yeah.
The Rams are heading to Chicago to take on the Bears. The Bears are 3-point favorites. Who you got in this one?
Give me the Rams. What are we doing here?
I'm with you.
Go for it.
I'm with you comfortably.
Dude, the Bears' offensive line stinks. And the Rams have themselves one hell of a pass rush, man. Even when Aaron Donald's gone, like, these dudes are getting after it, man. Like, Verse and Fisk, who are their first 2 picks this year, those guys are studs.
Seriously.
Like, man, the Rams under McVay are never going to
Kobe
die.
Durant at corner is a pretty solid guy on the blitz too. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're good. The Rams are good, man. Even with all their injuries, they like I said earlier, the analogy of Matt Stafford just being like the lone sheriff. Yeah, that dude, man, is something else. Give me the Rams all day.
Just ran it. Up next, the Minnesota Vikings heading to Lambeau to take on the Green Bay Packers, where Jordan Love is supposed to be back. Did I read that right? That he's practicing this
He
week?
might.
I think Vegas is projecting him to be back because the Packers are 2.5-point favorites. I'm thinking Minnesota.
You know me. You know me. I love me some Jordan Love. With that being said, first game back from a knee injury, if he's playing against Brian Flores, give me Minnesota.
We're Sam Darnold guys. Of course, we're not picking them to lose.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me Minnesota both ways. Oh, I mean, yeah, obviously.
Attaboy. The Pittsburgh Steelers head into Indianapolis, take on the Colts in the most unwatchable game of the week. Actually, this one might not be the most unwatchable. There's a couple of these down the line. The Steelers are 1.5-point favorites. I took Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna take Pittsburgh too, and like in Pittsburgh fashion, it's just gonna be fugly.
A 17-13 game.
TJ Watt will be their offense probably.
Death by field goals.
Yeah.
Up next, the Jets. The Jets are 7.5-point favorites against the Broncos in MetLife this week. I'm taking the Jets off a long week. They found something and they're gonna cook the Broncos. I'm sorry. I don't think this is gonna be close.
Yeah, the only saving grace is if Surtain. I'm too tired for this shit. If he clamps up Garrett Wilson, I mean they might keep it within, but like Bo Nix is also just
trash
bad at football. So
just both ways.
Give me the Jets. Just both ways, I should say.
The Eagles are heading to Tampa to take on the Bucks. The Eagles are 2.5-point favorites.
Give me the Bucks. I don't know. I don't see it with Philly all that much.
They should bounce back from that loss last week. I think they were a little lazy, and they'll get together.
Yeah, that's Tampa for you, man. They'll
when they lose, we booze.
Yeah, they're and I'll say this from my years of watching them with Brady. When they ride the high, they're really good. When they catch a low, they're like, fuck me, this is painful to watch.
They need Mike Evans to get more involved.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they're gonna bounce back though. And I'll say this as well. We're talking about bad head coaches. Nick Sirianni. What did you even do? Like, what is your role?
Let him go. Don't let him hold you back anymore.
Yeah. Push, merchant.
Seriously. The Bengals headed to Carolina to take on the Panthers. The Bengals are 4-point favorites. Ryan, who do you got in this cat fight?
Okay. I'll say this right now, and I'm revoking my lock of Carolina because Bryce Young. It's very clear, I think, who the problem is there. With that being said, as hard as I've shit on the Bengals, if you lose this game, Zach Taylor go get yourself some Bojangles at the airport or something like that, or some cookout or whatever the fuck. Just enjoy whatever North Carolina delicacies because I would tarmac your ass if you lose that game. Like you can't lose that. I'm sorry. The Panthers. I know Dalton looked really impressive. The Raiders also stink. If you
Underrated
lose,
bad team.
yeah, if you lose that fucking game to Carolina and you go 0-4, how do you? How? Like how do you even like? How? I don't know. Just give me Cincy both ways. Burrow figures it out. I hope because I don't want to see a player as amazing as Joe Burrow not be in the playoffs or even like play competitive. Like not play non-competitive football. That's just not it. Please win for the sake of sanity.
I also took Cincy both ways.
I'm turning this everything into a Bengals rant because that organization pisses me off.
That's like your home away from home. Like you wanna
Yeah,
enjoy football.
yeah.
Up next, we talked about this team a little bit today. The Jaguars are headed to Houston to take on the Texans, who just got smoked by the Vikings. The Texans are 6.5-point favorites. I'm taking Houston both ways. This is my lock of the week.
H-Town, baby. That's the H-Town both ways, I should say. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
You're not allowed to take this as your lock of the week. You gotta say it first.
All right.
Although I think you're gonna have a layup for one later. Up next, this is gonna be the most fun 4:00 game. The Washington Commanders are headed to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. I feel like this matchup is always wild, whether the teams are good or bad. Like these two, it's a rock fight. Like they just destroy each other.
Yeah.
The Cardinals are 3.5-point favorites. I think it's a good line. I'm taking the Cardinals both ways. What do you think?
I'm gonna take the Commanders.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ride the Jaden Daniels high both ways.
Listen, I can't blame you, but he had some great throws yesterday. Yeah, on Monday night.
And I'm saying this because I'm a Jaden Daniels propagandist as well. I was a propagandist of him coming into this draft. I low-key I wanted him over Drake May. I won't lie.
No,
But
we didn't have that choice.
yeah. But that's. I'll digress. Move on to the next pick.
I think this should be your lock of the week as much as it's ugly. The Cleveland Browns are headed to Vegas to take on the Raiders. The Raiders are 2-point favorites. I took Cleveland. I did the Raiders blow. Like as much as the Browns offense isn't good, their defense is spectacular. They're gonna get them good field position to score field goals and like have short fields. What are the Raiders gonna do? They got nothing.
I'm actually not gonna lock this one.
Okay.
Because there is another game I have on the schedule that I think is a lock.
Okay.
Off situation alone. With that being said, Deshaun Watson and the Browns fugly it out. And they cover. I mean, the Raiders are favorites, but they'll win.
Up next, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're headed to LA to take on the Chargers. KC is 7.5-point favorites. I reserve the right to change it if Justin Herbert's not playing. I took KC to win. I took LAC to cover. This is a divisional matchup. They always play each other hard. I think 7 is a lot of points for this rivalry. So I took LAC to cover.
I'm going to disagree on the cover.
Okay.
I have KC outright, and I think off injuries and situations and all this shit, I'm going to lock it.
Okay.
And I would have not locked it if they hadn't suspended Derwin James.
Yeah, that's a big loss.
Yeah, and also Herbert as well. But Derwin James, if Kelsey can't get it going this week, there might need to be conversations. Because he's had a terrible 3 weeks. For his standards,
I guess the way that they were kind of talking about it is that he's still getting double, triple team.
Oh, you get doubled? Womp fucking womp. I'm sorry. Okay, if I have to hear this in GOAT conversations as a tight end, I don't want to hear you crying about getting doubled if Gronk was getting fucking doubled.
He's not crying about it. It's just the play gets blown up because he's double, triple team, and Mahomes has to go elsewhere. That's just the way it goes.
That's the Chiefs fans. Not the Kels. No, you know what? I shit on him a lot. I do like Travis Kelce off the field a lot more than I ever thought I would. But listen, if I have to hear in GOAT conversations all the fucking time from Chiefs fans about Kelce, how amazing he is, how unguardable he is, and the second he gets any form of double coverage, it's like, oh, we can't do anything because Travis is getting doubled. Dude, I saw fucking one time there was a picture of TJ Ward, Aqib Talib, and Von Miller on Gronk in coverage.
Yeah, and they probably didn't give Gronk the ball.
No, but I've also seen multiple plays.
It's the same thing with Travis Kelce. They're just not going to throw him the ball when there's 3 defenders on him.
I've seen many, many, many times the Gronk being doubled, and he fucking just he didn't give a shit. He went out there and cracked fucking skulls.
But well, we're in Travis Kelce's Bucks Gronk era, so he is a little long in the tooth, Ryan. He's not a whippersnapper anymore.
I know he's old. I know,
and they're still triple teaming.
Listen, I'm mocking Chiefs fans. I'm sorry.
I just gotta keep the realness in the podcast here. I'm an objective viewer, as much as one can be on this show.
All right.
Listen, if we're gonna argue about which one's more objective between you and me, I think it's me. I'm not afraid to back the popular opinion that Patriots fans hate. Like Travis Kelce is a very good football player.
Never said he wasn't.
It made it sound like it.
No, I'm just saying if he can't handle double coverages,
it's not that he can't handle it, Ryan. It's that there are literally 2 to 3 defenders on him, and they're not going to throw him the ball when there's 2 to 3 defenders on him.
Okay,
that's just the way football works. If you're playing Madden, you do not throw the ball where there are 3 players. You're not Anthony Richardson, and you're just going to put the ball up to 3 defenders.
Listen, I have some Jameis. No, listen, I think I need to get my eyes checked sometimes, man. When I play Madden, like I'll just throw it to a fucking linebacker that's sitting right near the logo. I'm like, wait, I didn't see you. Fuck.
And see great teams like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and they're gonna not do that.
I have some Jameis Winston, Mr. Hurricane ass interceptions, man.
Can we get Mr. Hurricane on the show?
Probably not. No.
Up next, Sunday Night Football. The Buffalo Bills heading to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. The Ravens are 2.5-point favorites. I don't understand why. The Bills are going to go into Baltimore and smoke them. I think they're going to boat race them straight up.
I think Buffalo wins. So
I think they're going to crush them.
No,
I think Buffalo is the number 2 to Kansas City this year. They're going to be in Arrowhead, the AFC title game.
Sure, but regulars listen. Here's the thing about the Ravens is when they lock in.
Oh yeah, regular season warriors. That's why they barely got it done in the first 3 weeks of the year.
Oh yeah, they've had a really.
Didn't they almost blow it to Dallas? I didn't watch that game.
It was a lot of empty calories.
Got it.
It was Dak kind of pulling his best like mid 2010s Matt Ryan.
You mean mid 2010s Drew Brees?
Either or. Lots of stat padding. No, I have Baltimore keeping it close, but I think Buffalo takes it.
I think Buffalo boat races them. I think they're on another level right now.
We'll see.
This would be my lock of the week if Jacksonville wasn't so bad. The Titans. This is going to be the ugliest primetime game in history. The Titans are going down to Miami to take on the Tua-less Dolphins. Miami is 1-point favorites, which means it's kind of a toss-up. I took Tennessee. Like, nothing about this Miami team is inspiring. At least the Titans are coming in with like the team they've had since week 1.
Yeah. Give me Tennessee in a game I will not be watching.
Nope. Because there's a better game on a couple minutes later. Seattle heading to Detroit. Take on the Lions. The Lions are 3.5-point favorites. I took Seattle. This is just kind of one of those weird series that like Seattle just kind of has their number. So I put a lot of stock into that. So I took Seattle in a 30-34 victory.
All right. I have Seattle winning too.
Okay.
And it's because Mike McDonald is the fucking truth.
You're saying he's gonna coach circles around Dan Campbell.
Wouldn't shock me.
What's the score?
All right. I have it being 31-20.
51.
And
finally, we've done all the window dressing. We've talked about it. We've sung about it. We've cried about it. We've ranted about it. New England Patriots going on the West Coast trip. Take on the San Francisco 49ers. No Christian McCaffrey. Probably no Deebo Samuel. What do you think the line is on this one? Or the spread, excuse me.
I'm going to say 8 points for San Francisco.
10.5.
Jesus.
I took San Fran both ways.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's a big number, but the Patriots they don't have the facilities for that big man.
If your O-line literally cannot do anything against
Nick
the Jets,
Bosa is going to eat you alive.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to this game.
Nope.
Like, I don't know. And like I said, Juwan Jennings, man, I fear we don't have anybody for him out there.
It won't matter because they're just going to run the ball down our throats.
Yeah. Well, even then, like if they need to move the chains. Oh, hey, Juwan's wide open again. Oh, Juwan's wide open. Oh, Juwan.
So you're saying I should play him?
I would actually play Juwan Jennings, yeah.
Maybe if I can move one of these receivers, I will. There have been inquiries for Mike Evans.
Not interested.
Tyreek Hill is also on the board.
Somewhat interested.
Ramondre Stevenson's on the board. They're all there.
Mildly interested.
They're all there. Send your offers.
All right.
So yeah, final score for that one, 34-0. Blanked.
I'll have it be 24-10.
You think we're getting a touchdown?
Listen, it's the NFL season. Teams are gonna
Get out of your mind. We're getting a touchdown.
We'll get a garbage time one.
Not even. We couldn't get one against the Jets. You think we're gonna get one against the Niners?
Drake will come in and he'll get a fluky garbage time touchdown, and everybody in Patriots Nation will have to clean their pants.
Oh my God, start him! Oh my God, start him! Yeah, I know. That'll be you next week, and I have to come in here and have to tell you to shut up.
No, I still think Jacoby should start, as ugly as it is.
Until Gerard says Drake May is ready to go, I'm not hearing any arguments.
Yeah, no, I as long as his O-line is the same way, I don't want to see Drake May get decapitated.
All right, that was the Foxboro BeatCast, everybody. Week 4. Oh shit! I did ask the people for a question, and I'll answer one question. That's it. I'll answer one question. I'll pick my favorite. There were 3 questions. God, there's one of 2. Why didn't the Patriots get an OC that would work well with this team and a young upcoming quarterback? Or what sort of result would put Gerard or Alex Van Pelt in the hot seat? I can answer both of these actually very quickly. To TJ Toomey, what sort of results would put Gerard or AVP in the hot seat? None. Like they're going to be here next year.
Yeah.
And then Dana, why didn't the Patriots get an OC that would work well with this team and a young upcoming quarterback? Who says they haven't? Who says they're not doing the behind the scenes homework with Drake May?
Yeah, I don't think, I don't think the Patriots are going into any decision uninformed about that shit. It would be malpractice. Listen, teams make bad decisions. Like I said, I was just shitting on the fucking Jaguars for a lot of it, like under Trent Baalke. But at the end of the day, these guys do their homework. Sometimes they look like geniuses. Sometimes they don't. Oftentimes, the right pick is also the right pick. I think Drake May, at the spot he was at, was the right pick. I don't know what, these fans want. If they think, oh, they're not doing their homework or whatever the fuck. No, they are. And they know what they're doing. I trust them a little.
It's their first year. Like, let us get some homework on them before we grade them.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. The question's kind of a little goofy.
A little goofy. Do better, Patriots fans. This was the Foxboro BeatCast. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow the show. We'll be here next week after we get smacked. And we'll talk about the Dolphins. Any parting words?
Yeah. If this O-line kills Jacoby Brissett, fuck it. Throw me in there rather than Drake May.
Sign Mike White.
Yeah, Mike White.
And remember,
Darnold.
We're Sam Darnold guys. Of course we're going to want to trade for him when Jacoby Brissett dies.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Like, subscribe, comment. We'll see you all next week.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Foxboro BeatCast. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.